How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Beacon Breakdown. My name is Keegan Laird Thompson. I have our very special guest here today,
Abby Thompson, hi, nice to meet you guys.
also known as.
Abroth.
And this is the captain of our national champion Overwatch team. So, we
Yes.
are in distinguished company this week. So, before we move into the interview with the most important person in the program today, actually, I'll say the most important player because, some of the
Sure,
some of the
sure.
staff are
Some of the
important as
higher
well.
ups.
Obviously, Mike here, making sure that this interview is entirely possible. But
Mike.
either way, before we get into that, we are going to be discussing some of the happenings within the program this past week. And we're going to make it a little bit quick because there's not a whole lot to report. So, Valpo Gold won their match this past Friday. Valpo Brown actually had a very close loss there, as we saw it on stream. It was heartbreaking, but I spoke with some of the players, and they have a good sense of direction with what they want to do going forward. So their practice structure is going to be very impactful for them, and they're going to be probably going to try to get a win this next week. The thing is, their conference is ridiculously difficult, and there's a couple matches last year similar to the one on Friday where it was close, but they just couldn't quite get it over the edge. And once they hit that momentum, they'll be fine. I think they have all the talent in the world. It's just putting all the pieces together.
Yeah, I agree.
Moving into Smash Brothers, not too much to report here. We got a couple wins this week. We had one on Thursday against one of the new teams whose name I already forget to our conference. I played them and I don't even remember. It was Tiffin. Thank you, Mike. Thank God Mike's here.
Mike, what would we do without you?
Mike is the person who makes this entire podcast possible. And then this past weekend we played against Trine. We won a 2-1 set count, so good for us. We are currently at a 4-1 set count overall, and the hardest matches are yet to come. And then for NECC conference play, we beat Koei College in a pretty convincing 2-0 sweep, with both Chris and I taking 6 stocks each.
Mhm.
Not too much to report for our iRacing team or our Magic the Gathering or other trading card game teams. League of Legends actually has gotten a couple wins under their belt. Two
Yes.
wins, I believe, this past weekend for Gillette Conference play. I believe one was against Franklin, and I forget who the other team they played against was. Lords? Okay, thank you. And Overwatch still waiting for their game to come out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that we still have to practice a game that we can't play the correct version of, but Overwatch 2, I mean, a week and a half, October 4th. So it's coming soon, and we're really excited for the competitive season. We've just been scrimming, like external scrims and internal. We've been scrimming within each other and with other schools. We just had a scrim. Uh, Valpo Beacon did with Johnson and Wales last week, and we took the W on that. So good job, team. And we did just get a new player. So pretty exciting for the growth of the team, even though we're not even in competitive season yet.
Well, I mean, this is gonna jump perfectly into the interview. So, you know, it's almost like I planned this out.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So, your new game hasn't come out yet.
No,
You played the open beta.
no,
Okay,
a little bit. The first time it came out,
the
not the
first time it
second
came
time.
out, right? Um, it looks to be very similar in certain ways, but with
Mhm.
some big differences in a couple other ways.
Mhm.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We might have you back in after your season starts because
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
NECC hasn't started play yet because the new game is going to come out halfway through most teams' regular seasons. So,
Correct.
do you know anything about how the schedule is going to work out for that?
I do know that we're doing a condensed season, so it's going to be 2 games every Thursday instead of one.
Okay,
So I'm pretty sure we're cutting the season in half, and so we're going to have to really kick it into gear.
right. Well, I wish you the best of luck when that
Thank you.
happens. But this is a player representing a team who's had a number of conference wins, obviously a national championship win
Mhm.
and run as well, which is more than I can say for most of the other teams in
Mhm.
this program. What does it feel like to be like the people? I mean, you look at our yearbook. You look at our yearbook from last year. The only pictures in the yearbook representative of the esports team are the Overwatch team.
Yeah.
So you guys are like the it factor for
Yeah.
this program. Does that stress you guys out at all, or do you feel like you have that as your moxie?
I think it would stress me out if it were luck, but it's really not. We've put in the work, and all of the people that have put so much into this program. I mean, obviously Tristan, Mike, our head coach Bryce. We have an assistant coach now, Christian Marhinke, and they've put so much work in to make sure that we are playing the best we can and just being ready for anything, getting scrims and having a structure to every practice. So I really would not give our success to them as well as like all the players.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what's it like? Actually, when everyone left here last year, except
Hmm.
for the people who stayed over to do college over the summer, the Overwatch team actually stayed because they needed to be in one place for their national
Yeah,
championship run.
yeah.
So, do you have anything to report on that? Was it just business as usual, or
That was actually really fun. That was a really good time. We actually got free housing in one of the dorms here on campus, and Tristan made it happen that we got a couple free meals as well. He
that's
made sure that
nice?
we were able to eat because obviously the dining hall isn't open in the summer. So we got Chick-fil-A one night, we got pizza another night. So he made sure we were comfortable while we were getting those wins because we did end with an undefeated season
Yeah, I mean,
last
all the way
spring.
through playoffs as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So, I mean, I've had the pleasure of calling some of your matches, and your team synergy is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Um, I can tell you've rehearsed a lot of your certain situations. It
Yeah,
seems
for
like you're
sure.
never unprepared for anything anyone throws out at you guys.
I'm glad it comes off that way.
Now, Abby, I have a couple questions for you personally.
Hmm.
How did you get here? What was your esports journey, and how did that transition into your position here on the team now?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting because I wasn't very involved in esports at all in high school. So before I came to Valpo, it wasn't a part of my life. And then when I did come to Valpo, I had stopped playing volleyball, so I needed something to do. I was like, I don't know if I should join a club, get into like Greek life. I wasn't sure. So I meet one of the captains of one of our teams here, Franco, and I'm like, "Hey, like what's up with esports? Like I'm kind of interested, not really sure. I had not played very many competitive games before, but I tried out Overwatch and I really liked it. So it was my first time ever playing the game, and thankfully the team was, very welcoming to me having never played it, and they gave me a shot. And now I'm here.
And when did you begin? When did you put your foot in the door first?
Yeah, so I first practiced with the Valpo team February of 2021. And then by June, July of 2021, I was captain of our second team.
Really?
And then fall of 2021, we won our first conference championship. Spring of 2022 was the second, so back to back conference championship. And then summer of 2022 was the national championship.
So what you're telling me is that within a year,
Yeah,
you began competing in esports, you began doing everything,
began playing Overwatch.
began playing Overwatch.
I made an account.
You so you're telling me beginning of last year, beginning of 2021, you pick up the game for the first time.
Hmm.
By the end of summer, you're the captain of the second team.
Correct.
Going for the next 2 semesters, you win 2 conference championships
Hmm.
and a national championship as team captain, and you haven't even had the game for a year.
Yeah. And now we're about to have Overwatch 2 next month. So, new game, new season. We're excited.
If you could pick up Overwatch as late as you did and find that much success that quickly
Hmm.
against people who've been playing the game for 4 or 5 plus years,
Hmm.
like since it came out, that momentum is going to be huge when Overwatch 2 comes out.
I agree. I agree. I'm just very thankful for a program and a community that is so welcoming. I was not nervous. It was just everyone was so kind and willing to help me learn because obviously you can't get good at a game overnight. Like it takes
Right.
practice and
I
everybody
mean,
is there
well,
with me.
if your name's Abby Thompson, maybe.
Oh, of course. Yes. I mean, I can't argue with that.
Yeah. So, moving a little bit into some more serious grounds.
Hmm.
Women in esports have traditionally kind of struggled to break into it. Solo queues probably a nightmare.
Yep.
Um, I've seen some of my friends who've experienced some of the worst parts of the internet in their times here.
Hmm.
Just trying to make a dent and make a name for themselves in this vast space of esports that we have.
Hmm.
Has that perception of you or impacted your road to get to where you are now?
Yeah, I would say it's absolutely had an impact because when I was joining the team, there was only other one there was only one other girl. So I was kind of like, like I don't know if this is for me. Like, is this the kind of like community or the kind of space I want to like spend all my time in? Because I mean, we practice 3 days a week, competition 1 day a week. So like, these are the people I'm going to be spending all my time with, and I was nervous. But after being on the team for a while, I realized that there are some ways in which women's voices are a little silenced when it comes to esports, not always intentionally, but just because there's less of us in the community, it's kind of hard to um, think that we're like in the question you know
Right. Yeah.
it's difficult, but especially because most games, like when you look at the character pool you have to choose from, the majority of them are most likely going to be male.
Right.
So when you're even choosing a character for a game, whether it's competitive or not, it's hard when you don't feel like represented and you don't see yourself in that setting very often.
Right. That's actually an aspect of games I actually never considered until you brought it up just now.
Hmm.
Like, and do you think that makes it more difficult for people to break into a new game because they don't feel like their identity's represented?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I definitely feel like with the aspect of voice call, and you can like talk to the people that you're on a team with, even if they're across the country. When you speak up and you realize that you're the only girl in your lobby, it's kind of like, oh gosh, like I don't know if I'm going to be taken as seriously, or you just kind of wish you hadn't have spoken up at all.
Right.
Um, but that's why I'm so thankful when I do play. It's usually six stacking with my team, so it's people that I know will listen to me and respect me more so than maybe the random people that you get matched with sometimes. But
Right.
yeah.
Has that kind of, obviously you don't have to answer this question if
Hmm.
you don't
No,
feel
you're
comfortable
fine.
doing so. But if you solo queued at all,
Hmm.
some of those experiences, did they try to deter you from playing the game you wanted to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's happened multiple times. I'll be solo queuing, trying, competitive, in competitive play, and they're like making fun of me. They're like mocking my voice or like making fun of the character I choose to play, saying this is why we're losing, this is why we're not doing well. So it's really interesting, especially when a game is 6v6, that you're like blaming all of your uh, loss or success depending on this one person. So it was kind of weird to see it in that light for the first time.
Yeah, yeah. Especially for someone who's not really been in the community to just jump into that one and
Oh yeah,
you know,
no. And I'm always the positive, like I try to keep the mentality up, like try to keep people's morale going, and it was weird when someone was like doing the exact opposite just because I
right.
was a woman in esports or a woman playing a video game.
And to answer the opposite of that question,
Hmm.
um, has that made you more determined to break headway into
Oh,
any respective
absolutely.
scene?
Oh, absolutely. I always want to show the haters that, I'm going to succeed anyway. Like, sorry, it's not going to deter me because I have a great community here that supports me, and those are the people that really matter. So I don't really, I don't let it affect me.
Yeah, I admire you for having that
Yeah.
mindset,
Thank you.
and that's probably what has allowed you to get to where you were as quickly as you have.
Yeah.
It's just
Because all the times that they've shown me that I should quit or they tell me to quit, like literally they tell me to my face, like, yo, you should quit. Don't play this game anymore. And I'm just like, well, let me go win another championship and then maybe you'll think differently. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I really respect that. And
Thank you.
you've mentioned a number of times how impactful your team here in this program has been for you.
Oh, yeah.
What does Valpo Esports mean to you, and how have they affected your journey going through esports?
Oh, wow. That, yeah, that question alone, I could go on, and I think I will.
Go for it.
But yeah, when I first came to college, I joined the team when I was a freshman.
Hmm.
So, like I said, and I joined when COVID was still happening. I was a COVID senior in high school, and then I come into college wearing a mask and not being able to like connect with anyone or join anything. Like I said, I wasn't in any clubs, and I really didn't know where I fit on campus yet. So I was just going to class and then coming back to my room, and I'd be like, like I want to be part of a community. I want to do something. So I joined esports, and I meet all these amazing people. And then we would always have like our little movie nights or like our late nights just in the lab playing Overwatch, like stuff aside from competition that makes us like a close knit group. And that was just like that made it all worth it. Like any like hate I could receive online or any like toxicity with like random players, like when we could all get together and just like talk about the game or just have a meal together and hang out as a team, that was like the best thing I could be a part of.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful.
Now, and that's just like your relationship with your team.
Yeah.
Have they at all motivated you to go on the war path like you guys have?
Yeah, absolutely. My team we're super determined. That's like one of the things we like really pride ourselves on is we're striving for success. We're striving for these wins while also like maintaining our camaraderie and our team chemistry and like synergy that you were talking about earlier along the way.
Yeah. Now, you're not wearing the new jersey today because
I'm not.
that's my fault. That's my fault. Full disclosure to the chat, I did not tell her, hey,
That's
bring
true.
in a jersey.
This
But
is the old one from
yeah,
last school year. This is the 2021 2022 jersey. And then
yeah.
you've got the 2023
Yeah,
jersey.
and I was hoping, and let us know in the chat or the YouTube comments because we actually post these to YouTube now as well.
Hmm.
What you would like to, if we go to lands and we want pictures and stuff, would you be interested in seeing like one day we do,
Mm,
white colors and then one day we do like we can have those be like our off colors and then these
yeah,
be like
yeah,
our
yeah.
home. I think that'd be fun.
Very cool.
But this slogan on the shoulder is one of Tristan's favorite things
Mm,
to say.
yep.
Because the we is always more important than the me.
Yes.
And do you feel like Valpo Esports having that be the main slogan has resonated with you or the rest of your team in any way?
Oh, absolutely. It's so easy when you play a sport that you could all be in separate rooms and still play it the same way. It's so hard to like maintain those relationships, I feel like, because with other sports you have to be in person, you have to be
Right.
playing with the same ball or the same court or whatever, but with esports you just get online in the same server. So I feel like because we have this space and we can all like gather here like any other sport does, it like really builds the community and that camaraderie like that much more.
Yeah, yeah. And Abby, one more thing. How has Valpo's culture as a whole helped you grow as a player?
It's definitely built my self confidence because from the beginning, so many people were encouraging me to learn and to get better. They would come to the lab with me. They would be on Discord with me, like I would stream, and they would watch me and give me tips, and they would coach me. And uh, Bryce, my coach, he actually helped fund my PC that I have in my
Wait,
room.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
didn't actually know about that.
yeah, he was super, super helpful when I first started. Really big mentor for me. And I love that we can still have a close relationship because as a captain, I have to communicate with him a lot about all different things. So, really, really thankful.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's currently stationed in Erie, I think.
Yeah. Hmm.
I say stationed. He's
Well,
not in
he's
the military, I
actually
don't
in
think.
town right now. He's
Oh,
in
really?
Valpo. Yep, he's in Valpo for about a week, but he will be going back to Pennsylvania, your homeland, at the end of this week, I think.
Yeah, Erie's on the far
We're
opposite
hoping
side.
to get him to come in though and have a couple in-person practices because we haven't seen him since nationals, I want to say,
Wow.
because he did fly in. He said he was going to fly in for playoffs and for nationals, and I mean we went all the way, so we got to see
Well,
him.
now that's a coach right there. It's someone
Yeah,
who's
he's
really,
very very dedicated, very dedicated.
yeah. Do you think, his influence is still seen within the program, even though he's not really here? I mean, obviously you communicate all the
Oh
time
yeah.
via Discord, but
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
yeah, like any of his like coaching styles transition, or stick with you guys when you're doing practices.
I would definitely say so, especially because he has a big impact on the way that Christian coaches
Hmm.
and how he's able to manage everyone. So getting mentored by Bryce, it helps him to maintain the same kind of community that we had before, and then obviously contributes to our success, I think.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. It seems like a good guy. I haven't spoken with him much, but
Oh yeah.
I think he gave me some notes when I was on mic for some of your championship runs. But he seems like a
Mm.
decent guy. Seems
Yeah,
like he takes his job very seriously.
both Bryce and Christian were originally players,
Mm.
and then they both went up and took the role as coach because it was needed. We didn't have people in the beginning when our program was a baby just 2 years ago, so they stepped up, and it's been really really helpful maintaining like that regimented like schedule.
So maintaining everything that you've discovered and learned about yourself in this program, the amount of success you've had.
Mhm.
You're a junior right now,
Mhm.
so you're pursuing a psychology degree, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
awesome. Any minors in there?
I might do sociology or sociology with a focus in criminology.
And you think she couldn't get more incredible? You're balancing
I
several
try. I
championship
try.
caliber teams with some of the most difficult majors that Valparaiso has to offer in their
Thank you.
curriculum.
Thank you.
That's very impressive,
Thank
Abby.
you.
But you're a junior,
Mhm.
so you're halfway through your time here at Valpo.
Ah, don't remind me.
With that second half, of the time you want to spend within this program,
Mhm.
do you envision anything changing? Do you envision yourself, trying to take more leaps as a team and as a
Mhm.
player?
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm really excited for the new developments when Overwatch 2 comes out because that's going to be a huge thing for the community. The game is going to get a lot more players, like a huge influx of content and viewers. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm hoping that we can find another conference to play in. Just keep your eye out for that. Not sure, maybe in the future. But I'm actually really excited for the possibility of in person competitions
Right.
because those were all canceled the past few years because of the pandemic. But now we might actually be able to travel and go to some in person arenas and sport the new jerseys for other schools to see. So
Yes.
that's what I'm excited about.
That's awesome. Um, but for you as a player,
Hmm.
I know there's like Overwatch contenders conferences,
Right. Yeah.
that are just like a tier below the Overwatch League, which
Sure.
is currently ongoing with a new game. Have you ever considered trying to take a shot at going professional in that sense?
No, not really. I never went into esports for the like purpose of like going up. I
Hmm.
would say like I never went into it to be in the Overwatch League or be professional or popular or anything like that. It was really just to find a community or a sense of belonging at a new school in a scary time. So I think it's already fulfilled what it needed to in my eyes, but I'll take it as far as I can.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
keep winning as long as I can, but no, I don't plan on going any further.
Well, hey, that's good.
I
We're
will
happy to
keep
have you
playing for
here.
Valpo though.
Oh yes,
Yeah, I'll play my senior
because
year as
I'm
well.
very glad that you do because we need some more trophies to make the
That's
other
true.
ones feel less
That's true.
lonely.
That's true. They're sad over there, all alone.
Yeah. So, you mentioned a second ago that you were excited for the prospect of new content being,
Yes.
surfaced whenever the new game comes
Yes.
out. Um, do you take any inspiration from any of the other content creators for Overwatch or for any other
Mm,
games?
that's interesting. I take a lot of inspiration not from someone who plays Overwatch, but Valkyrie
Oh, of
from
course.
100 Thieves. Yeah. So she's like co-owner of that corporation now, and I just think
Right.
that is so cool. Like one of the other like women in esports that has actually like made a difference and like started her own company and like she's on the biggest billboard like in Times Square or something right
Oh,
now.
that's awesome.
So it's just like really exciting to see that women are being recognized in esports now. So in terms of just like esports in general. I guess she is my biggest inspiration, but Overwatch wise, I don't know. I watch a lot of the popular streamers,
That's fair.
ML7 and those kind of people. But uh, yeah, I've been really looking forward to the new push map, the new map mode that's coming out, and we'll see what happens when it goes to 5v5 because it's going to be a new game,
Yeah,
whole
I think the
different game.
transition is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Has it been possible to scrim with 5v5s?
We've tried. There are different custom games you can make where you change up the heroes to have more realistic abilities, and then you take the ones out that are like completely different. But
Right.
there's a few kinks still to work out, so we're working on it.
Yeah. So, that about gets us to time for everything today. I
No
have no
way!
further questions, but
Wow.
Abby, if you have anything that you want to say real quick to the people,
Mm.
do you have any closing remarks for them?
Yeah, I want to let everyone know that Overwatch is starting a club team like here at the university also for Overwatch. So even if you're not looking to play in a competitive setting, we're trying to find a way that you can play and still get that sense of community and belonging and this like welcoming kind of ideology without the competitive setting. So join the club team. Yay.
Right. And if anyone wants to eventually try to go from the club team to the
Hmm.
competitive team, do you think that would be something that they could be interested in
Oh,
as well?
absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. We are always looking for different players with all different talents, and you could be on either team, I guess, depending on your skill. So
Yeah, and if you're looking to get into the game for the first time, similarly to how Abby did
Yeah.
almost a little over a year ago,
Yeah.
you could be in the midst of a program that has had a lot of success within that game,
Hmm.
and also has a lot of momentum and a lot of people who would be more than willing to sit you down and help you figure some of the more difficult aspects of the game out.
Yeah, as well as all the other games. I haven't spoken with League of Legends or Rocket League or any of those teams, but we're looking for new people all the time.
Yes, of
We're
course.
really excited to use this new space that we have, and we're very thankful for Tristan and for all of our coaches who've put all the work in.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shake your hand now. Thank you so much for coming in on short
Thank
notice
you.
to do this interview.
Thank you.
And for everyone who tuned in today, we very much appreciate your time. Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Beacon Breakdown every single Monday here on the Valpo Esports Twitch channel,
I'll be here.
varying times. You don't want to miss this because it gives you all of your updates on teams, special guest interviews for some of your favorite players, and stuff like that. She's my favorite player, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes. So until next time, my name's Keegan Laird Thompson,
Abby Thompson, Abroth.
and I hope you guys take care, be good, stay safe.